We are live. We are live. Who is on the stage with me today? Who is on the stage with me today? Okay. Good evening, everybody. Someone is on the stage with me, and I'm going to be leaving the stage for the person.
Thank you so much, Coach Vivian. Thank you. God bless you. Good day, everyone. How are we all doing today? It's the grand finale of our conference, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited. Coach Vivian, thank you so much for giving me this honor to moderate your session. It means that myself, I'm not a small person again. No. Moderating a big person, a session of a big person means that I'm a big person too. Thank you so much for this opportunity. God bless you. What an incredible few days that this has been. Oh. For the past few days, we've listened, we've learned, we've reflected, we've asked questions, and maybe we've even had some uncomfortable moments, where we had to look inward and say, oh, there are things I need to do differently in this my journey as a parent. Emphasis on as a parent. Do you know why there's an emphasis on a parent? Because parenting is not just about the children. It's about you first. It's about you first. The skills you have is what you are going to transfer to your children. So if you don't have what to transfer to your children, how then do you parent? So emphasis is on you as a parent, right? So if you've had this mind shift, listening to all this session might have given you a mind shift. There's something I've also noticed about parenting. There are so many mind blocks. So when you genuinely listen to sessions and it gives you a mind shift, then just know that you've successfully discovered one of the beautiful things about parenting. And I'm glad that the Proactive Parents Academy is what is giving you this mind shift. We have our coach and our convener to thank for all these sessions that have brought about these changes in us as parents. So it's not just about learning how to manage our children, it's also about becoming better versions of ourselves as children. So today, we have this privilege of hearing from the woman who has been at the heart of this vision. A woman who has created a community where parents are reminded that intentional parenting is not about being perfect, but being present, learning, growing, and doing the work. Listening to sessions are not just enough. As parents, we have good intentions, but if you don't put in the work, you are stuck. Even you are behind, not just stuck. You are stuck and going behind, not moving forward. So Coach Vivian is the founder of the Proactive Parents Academy and also the founder of Build Your Home Tribe, where I'm a bona fide member. And we've also raised coaches in Build Your Home Tribe. You see the second speaker on day 2 of this conference is a product of the tribe. So a tribe is a place where Coach Vivian holds your hands as parents and also coach parents about everything they need to know about parenting. So I've said before that I'm a bona fide member of Build. I'm still there. I've worked with Coach for like 6 or 5 years now, if I'm correct. So Coach is a mother, Coach is a wife, Coach is a life coach, Coach is a parenting coach. She's an author. She also works with special needs children. That was why you could see the priest yesterday talking about special needs children, how they can get funds and all that. Coach is an administrator there. Ladies and gentlemen, please, because this is a virtual conference, I want us to go to our comment section and use a clapping emojis. Let's use the clapping ovation and welcome the one and only coach of Good Life, the brain behind this academy, the one who has planned all this just so that we can be in a community where we can learn. This is not just about women. This is also about the men. From the first session till this day, you will see that everything that's been talked about is not just about our mothers. We've talked about men. We talked about visionary mothers. We talked about teachers. We talked about schools. We talked about everything. Please welcome the founder and the convener of this conference, Coach Ijeoma Vivian Ani. Coach Vivian of the Most High, we are delighted to have you here. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am to be here and to do this. Thank you so much for all you do. You are welcome. Can we see you, ma'am? Okay. You are muted, ma. You are muted. Your mic is muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you so much, Oyinye. Good to
Welcome.
have you here. Thank you for moderating this session. It's such an honor, and I'm actually always humbled when I see people who are so open to learn. Oyinye is a first-class product, by the way, and Oyinye receives, the way she takes learning amazes me. I don't even understand. Like, God has brought me in the midst of women, amazing people in the tribe that have literally changed my own life. They do not know. They do not know, because many times when you take the seat of the driver, it's almost like you're just the one taking the lead and all of that. But the moment you step out of that driving seat and go to the other side of the passenger, you begin to see that there are even ways that the other driver can drive that you cannot even drive. That's the beautiful thing about the tribe that God has helped us unravel, because many times we find that the people God have sent us to have also become a template of our own journey. So I'm humbled, Oyinye. Thank you so much for doing this with me and for me. And like she has said, everything she said is true. She has been with me, learning. She does not even know that I'm in turn learning under her feet as well. Oyinye is raising an amazing family that her daughter have literally blown me away with the amazing things she's doing with all the children, especially her daughter, who is the first child. I'm so humbled to be with you as well, and I'm so humbled that God is using you to teach me, in my own journey. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you
we'll be
so much.
getting into the next. So the next time I see you, I know we are tidying up. Am I right?
Yes, I was about to say that. Thank you so much, ma. The
Okay.
floor
So
is
let's
yours.
quickly run.
Okay.
Okay. So let's quickly run so we can have a bit of our time that is given to us. Welcome again, everybody, and thank you for joining in the past how many days of this conference. Today, I do not even really have anything to, expand so much on my topic. I am just going to be building, a few things here and there from the topic, from the discussions that other speakers have, shared with us. A lot of things have been shared, from fatherhood to visionary mothers to early childhood, so we understand what is happening with our children while they are young. And then we got into the day two, the trauma day, where everything was exposed about where we are coming from. And then we got into the boy child, raising the boy child, because the boys carry the loins of every generation. And then we got into the educational system. These are our major partners. Parents partner with educators that handle their children. And we got into the special needs families, how we can help them, because those ones are thrown away. Nobody remembers them. They are no longer parents because they are struggling with, you know, children with disabilities. So it becomes like they are not part of the journey. Meanwhile, they are the ones that are having it rougher. And then we got into the last one that talked about the United Fronts, where Ahunna exposed everything that we are doing individually as wives, as husbands, and called us together to come back as a United Front. Then Auntie Nene today took over the TechWise family, because all of these things are the things that will help us get deep rooting in our journey. The topic I am going to be summarizing today is, it says, deep roots, great heights, proactive parenting for legacy and global impact. Proactive parenting for legacy and global impact. And what that simply means is that there are things that must be foundational. There are things that we must put in place. Auntie Nene said something, in her session, where she said, when you're supposed to teach, you're not teaching. You're making excuses for your children. They are 5-year-old, they are 4-year-old, they are 3-year-old. They are excited to do things. You're making excuses for them. Your Prince Charming cannot wash stockings at 3, at 4, at 5. It is the maid, the house help that will wash the stockings. You're shouting for the house help 1,000,000 times, and your Achalugo daughter cannot, she can only carry her food. When the food is ready, she will come and carry it, and then they serve her with all the, yes, very interesting. That's very good. You're doing an amazing work at the time when you're supposed to be teaching. And you think the person you're sending all of those things is losing out because she's working here and there. She's not losing out. She's the one that is actually enjoying the best part of the pot, because she's building herself, she's building her skills, and everything is, coming out as a beautiful mix for the person. Even if the person doesn't unravel it then, the person will unravel it later in life. So welcome again to this final grand finale of the conference 2026. God indeed wanted this conference to be held, because people who know me closely know that I've gone through so much in the past 2 months. It's been a rough journey for me in the past 2 months, from losses of beloved ones to ill health and all of that, and somehow in my head I'm wondering, how are we going to put up all of these things? But here we are. Heaven have taken over and did everything that God wants to do, so that people can be on this mountain to feed on the food that God is preparing or has prepared for all of us. And on this mountain, I know that deliverance have come, liberation have come, transformation have come, impact have come. Okay? So everything that you can hear, that you saw in this conference, was because God prepared a banquet for us. So today, I will be sharing basically on what deep root is and what a great height means. Because when we do not understand a purpose of God about parenting, we will make a mess of it. I think a speaker said this sometime. And Miles Muro, Dr. Miles Muro of blessed memory, will say, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So we are abusing our office of parents because many times we do not understand the purpose of God for parenting. And the day Coach Abibo was sharing about the purpose of God for parenting, I think he also expanded on that, so I won't go back to it. So basically, while we are looking at deep roots, great heights, proactive parenting for legacy, what does that mean? Because aside the legacy, there's an impact that should follow your legacy. Legacy is not just when you have died and all of that. Legacy is lived. You will be here seeing your legacy, seeing how the system you created, is it working, is it not working? So when Atinene mentioned and said, why will you be a grandparent and your children are running away from you? They're hiding things from you. They don't want mama to know this one. They don't want to know. I smile because that's exactly the situation of many families, across, everywhere, especially in this part of the world where we live. I listen to parents every day and I go through with them in the pains of the things they share with me. And you see the rots or the depths of damages that we're actually coming from, even when we live in denial of such damages. So today we'll be anchoring our topic, Deep Roots, our conversation on Deep Roots, Great Heights, on Proverbs 24, 3, verse 5. Proverbs 24, I'll read the scripture from here and we'll get to understand why we are putting our background in of this topic in this scripture verse. That scripture says in verse 3, by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. You can read this again. For the sake of time, we may not be able to digress in so much. So, by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is full of strength, and a man of knowledge enhances his might. A man of knowledge, underline the word knowledge, enhances his might. You know what might is, M-I-G-H-T. A man of knowledge enhances his might, right? So Solomon combined three things there. And in those three things he combined it, mentioning those three things as something that is so powerful for a strong man. Okay? So, meaning that if you're a strong man, the description of strong man from what Solomon is saying here is not necessarily the physical, I have power. It is these three things that he outlined here: wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So if you lack these three things, in this journey, you will ruin your children. You will make a mess of them. You will literally destroy your children with your hands. Unfortunately, it is easy to destroy your children. And these are some of the cries that I hear older parents cry, and they will say things like, people are instigating their children against them. People did XYZ to their children. I've had older parents share this with me over and again. And I try to tell them that I do not think anybody did this to your children. I feel you didn't build the foundation that could make them come back to you. I usually come with that answer, even though very politely, so that they will begin to understand that there's something faulty about the foundation. That's what the scripture said. When the foundation is faulty, what will the righteous man do? It doesn't matter how much you speak in the Holy Ghost. It doesn't matter how much God loves you and you love God. It doesn't matter how much hours you spend on evangelism. As long as you did not build the right foundation while your kids were young, you are bound to struggle. You are just bound to struggle. No, Jupiter removes that. One of the things we have not understood is that God is a God of principles. Everything you see in this life is governed by principles, especially everything you see that works. Marriage that works, principles. Businesses that work, principles. You think Dangote is the richest man in Africa because his business is the biggest business, or why do you think he's? It is because he has improved on himself, learned the things that other people did not. I remember listening to him in Wigwe's burial. Wigwe, the Rivers man that died in America with his wife and son. I remember listening to him, and they kept recounting where he met Wigwe, so business school in America, so business school, so business. You keep seeing business schools everywhere. And you who never read a book on business, you want to still get to that height with miracle. How does that work? The funny thing is that God does not, towards principle because, you're praying, because the only way we can be saved is when you avail yourself the opportunity to be seated under knowledge. Knowledge is light. Atinene said it a few minutes ago. And before I get into our session properly, let me say this for every man listening to me or every man who will listen later, because I find that for us to even get to the deep roots and the great heights, ourselves and our children and our generation, the generations that will come after us, something more that had been missing from the generation past has to, get back. We have to get it right with fathers. The fathers, I know that Gideon Ohose also said a lot of things about fatherhood on the first session. But one of the things I want to emphasize here is that, there have been so much generational absentee fathers, and it has been going on and on and on and on and on. I was that child that my daddy told a lot of stories, told us of a lot of stories. Daddy had a lot of time, had a lot of bond with us, had a lot of connection. I listened to story like the way you eat food and drink water. He shared life stories, he shared life experiences. He used everything to teach us or to bring it to a limelight, all the things that he taught us. So I am someone who, is neck deep with connection and bonding that came from history. History of my own genealogy, history of, other things that he had read or known while he was journeying on earth. And he kept sharing all of those experiences intentionally, even though he didn't call it intentionally at the time, but he devoted time for it. So there have been a lot of absentee fathers, over and again, generations have experienced. I've seen a mother in her 70s sharing with me how it is not, it's not any serious thing if your husband is promiscuous or something, and all of that. It's something that has always been there. Men are like that because from generation past we endorse that as a perpetual badge for being a man, for being a husband. So this grandmother, while we're having this conversation with a young woman who was crying to both of us, the young woman met us, who was crying to both of us, and sharing that story. And she was of the opinion that no, 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 no. There's no, thank God I was in that conversation, because the grandmother is the person the young woman came to see. And she started telling her there's nothing, no big deal, that even herself experienced it, where her daughter, who was maybe 8 months, 9 months, having measles at the time, was running. She was running up and down, running towards the market square while her daughter was dying in her hand, throwing up, vomiting, and all of that. She was running towards the market square and met her own husband seated with her concubine. That the husband saw her carrying her daughter, crying, but the husband didn't get up because he's seated with the concubine, eating and drinking in the market square, taking their meat and all of that. And this was the advice she could give her. If I was not in that conversation, that is exactly how this woman, this young woman, would have picked what she said and start, internalizing it as, okay, this is just the baseline. Okay, that's how it's always been. Okay, that's how men are. Okay, so we can't do nothing about it. That's fine. And then she will raise another daughter who she will transfer that to, and other younger women who will come her way who she will transfer that to. Do you see it? Can you now see how things, especially patterns, are being, transferred? Not just from the family, even the environment where you are. So because they've always been the story of absentee fathers, where our mothers have told us, oh, your father is this, your father is that, women and emotions. So they will cling to their children and tell them a lot of stories. Oh, your husband, your father did this, your father did that, and all of those things. And then you take it as the template. Now, what that have caused is that women stepped into that vacuum where men are supposedly, what's it called? Supposed to occupy. Fathers have a role that God gave them from the inception of the world. And that headship from the Garden of Eden have not changed. It has not changed. He was there giving everything. Eve was the last thing that was brought to him. Eve was the last thing that was brought to him. And then when Eve came, the man looked away and said, oh, wow, this is at last. Emphasis on at last. This is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. So even him, Adam recognized that wow, everything was here, oh, but it wasn't complete. Until this one came in, I didn't know that I was not complete. And that is the error. What fathers now do is to carry the load of parenting to give mothers. And as they keep saying it, it is for women. Go and meet your mother. It's women that take care of children and all of that. And we have circled it from generation to generation as national anthem. By so doing, we have passed down this system from generation to generation, like I said. And then, not just because your father is not physically absent, but also the emotional absentee fathers who have no connection with their spouse nor their children. Go to your mother, go to your mother, go to your mother system, because they also saw a system that kept saying go to your mother. What that have done to us is that we have now a generation of men who do not, they are men, they are male figure, but they are not, exhibiting the masculinity that a man should have. They are not taking the leadership role in any dimension, because you are, as a man, the spiritual head of your home, the spiritual leader, the leader across everything. So we see that women are going everywhere. They are the ones that do school run, they are the ones that pick the children, they are the ones that do all of these things. What that have done asking him, who is your role model? Who is the man that you would want to, be like him, growing up and everything? You want to live like him. And what the guy said to me is nobody. That's a very terrible error in our time. When a man is raising young children and his children are not aspiring to be, especially boys, aspiring to be like him, is an error. Because where is he going to learn masculinity? True masculinity. So because the women are stepping into the roles, you find that the women are now, the men are now also wanting, their role models are their moms, they are now also wanting to be like their mothers, who literally was carrying everything in her head. So if they marry a woman who will not carry like their mother, they interpret it as being rebellious, being terrible, being non-submissive, and all of that. If they marry a woman who takes all the nonsense, or want to take all the nonsense that probably they saw their mother taking from their father, they rebel. They become ineffective husband, because they don't understand communication. They never had communication. They never saw parents who had communication and all of that. They all saw fights, quarrel, and squabbles. So I'm just laying this background as God laid into my heart, for us to know that, you see, this parenting thing, it is more of a role of a father than it is for a mother. I became a mother to even know that mothers used to come into the picture of parenting. I never saw that with my mother. Not because my mother was not available, but she was also being led by our father. So the bonding time, the connection, the everything that daddy was doing with us, mommy was there. So she was also learning on the feet of daddy. Daddy was the leader of everything. He was the one that took us to school, both primary, dormitory days, university, and all of that. To the point where in my university days, people were asking me, why will your daddy be coming from the north to come and visit you? Why? Is he your real daddy? Or, I didn't even know what that meant. Real daddy and non-real daddy. I didn't get that. Okay? But he was taking the lead in everything. Every Monday morning, my daddy sends a letter that every one of us goes to the department to pick. At the time I was in university, we were 3 in the university. Every one of us goes to the department to pick up the letter, to read. And at the end of it, he will tell you your darling daddy and all of that. And that will keep you excited. It keeps me excited till the next week, Monday, where he will write another one and share all of beautiful things, how you are loved, how you are this, how you are the best, how God has blessed him because he gave you to him, and all of those beautiful things that keep reminiscing in my healthy tomorrow. So I'm laying this background so that we can start being to the system of parenting. We are the ones who many times women will give them, leave it. He's not a man that does this. The man wants to help in the kitchen, you're saying leave it. The man wants to do this, you're saying he's not the this, he's not the that. I've seen women say, I cannot allow my husband to be cooking. I cannot allow, and you want your boy child to learn how to be an ideal man. So you see, every boy child picks up what he saw from his father, except he intentionally sits with a higher knowledge. So, having said that, let's look at the keywords in our today's conversation. Deep roots. What does that mean? An unshakable foundation of core values. Emphasis on core values. Character. One of the things we're also missing out, our generation is missing out, is raising our own children to be people of character. Terrible, what's it called? Bomb blast that is about to explode. Yes, we are not looking at our children's character. We are always on the side of defenses. We are not interested in how their character is. It's only that they went to school. We are paying 1 million in that their school. How now is back to school time. Everybody is now on the internet. Which school can I change to my child? And all of those things. Character. And secure identity. Deep roots gives you 3 things: core values, character, secure identity. Okay? That keeps you grounded through life's storm while feeling the capacity for great impact. Well, how did I know? If you read the book of Mark 4:17, you will hear the scripture warning about shallow roots. We're not going to be reading all that. Take this down in your notes. Please go back. You can sit with this session and any other session that as it affects you 1 million times within the year and take your notes. The scripture warns about shallow roots, shallow foundations. Again, Mark 4:17. Deep roots. What is then legacy? Legacy is intentional transfer of values again. Intentional transfer of values. Remember that the other one is unshakable foundations. You are grounded. Your children are grounded in core values, in the values of your family. We are coming to that. I don't want to digress. The values of your family, your own personal values, which they must have picked. And as they grow older, they can now add to their own values, personal values. Unfortunately, if I start asking us one after the other, some of us don't even have core values that we can actually pinpoint that this is where my life hinders on, that we can see through your action and through your character. Not to talk of family values. Let's not digress. So while deep root is giving you unshakable foundation, legacy is telling you, oh yeah, intentionally start transferring it to your children. This your 1-year-old running up and down in the parlor. Oh yeah, intentionally start showing him how to build this core value. Transfer it. Not just say it. Start transferring it. As you're saying, Junior, come. Ade is a this. Ade is a that. You are showing your presence. You are connecting. You are telling the story. You are reading a small book with the child. You are trying to get their child's attention, and he's also conscious of, oh, daddy is around, oh, mommy is around. I need to, and they feel secured. In that security, you begin to show them their identity. Where does identity start? Your name. Your name. Identity starts from your name. What is your child's name? I usually start from when our kids are 1, 2, to tell them the meaning of their name in Igbo, why that name is their name. Okay? Why it is there? Because I remember asking my daddy, why did they name me Ijoma? And he told me the story of how the elder brother named me the name Ijoma because mommy I was born on a Children's Day. Mommy drove herself to parade. You know, those days they used to do marching. Then mommy drove herself to parade. Mommy did everything, finished Children's Day, came back, drove herself to the hospital and all of that. And daddy gave me a very precious Igbo name that is in my baptismal card, that is in my hospital birth certificate. Yes, that's hospital owned and everything. And of course, the elder brother who stands like his father gives us name, and he gave us that name. So when we come to the village, that name is being called by everybody. That's how we took over the name. Otherwise, I have a precious name that daddy gave me that maybe internal people know that I'm also using in my certificates. So every child's identity starts with their name. What's your name? What's your name? And mommy is explaining, your name is Chetachuku, your name is Dilichuku. You do know what is the meaning of Dilichuku? God this, God that, and the child is trying to connect. Okay, I'm supposed to Chukwebuka. Oh, I'm supposed to actually live to show that God is great. Oh, God is good. Oh, Chioma. Oh, Damilola. Oh, Similolua. My daughter's name in Yoruba is Similolua. And the meaning of Similolua is I rest in God. I had to ask the meaning because I have a very close Yoruba family friend who named all of them a Yoruba name. And we took the name, wrote it in their whatever, their birth certificate, and also got the meanings of those names because it's coincidentally it tallied with everything we named them in Igbo. So my daughter, whose name in Yoruba is Similolua, knows that he rests in God. And I had to tell small story about my rests in God. Before she came, and while she's here, and even after she came. So, identity is one of the things we are taking away from our children. Spiritual identity, Nko. What are you telling them about God? Some of us, our children cannot relate with our God because when we go to church, we are good people, we pray, we come back and pray. But when you exhibit one shouting and insulting attitude, they can't even understand. This mommy, what is wrong with her? This daddy that is always insulting somebody. And you tell them, if you don't insult anyone, where did he insult him? Where did he? They cannot relate with our God. One of the things that makes me feel like I can understand who God is because daddy, I could relate with my daddy so well that I feel like God is the way daddy is. So growing up, that's the mentality I have about God. That God, this God daddy is talking about, oh, he must be a very good God. Because daddy was everything for us. So that was a standard. Now, your children are young and you're trying to tell them about God. You're bringing Bible. After Bible, you're doing opposite of what Bible said. Daddy comes in. You're in chaos. You're in quarrel. You're in shouting. You're hitting everywhere. Everywhere is conflict. Can they match the Bible Jesus you talked about and your action? Spiritual identity. Emotional identity. Your children cannot connect. They don't want to come near you. If I tell daddy, daddy will kill me. If I tell my mommy, will kill me. And as they are growing older, they are going backwards. Well, they don't want to come to you. You're not there to go person. They are waiting to leave your side. Let them go to where they want to go to. They are not excited remembering home. They are not excited coming back home. They are 12 years. They're 10. In fact, a parent reached out to me that her son, who is schooling in Abuja, in one of the universities in Abuja, that he said he's not coming home. School is on vacation since July. But the guy said he's not coming back home. And a 19-year-old guy. And I asked her, what's the relationship? He said, he has a lot of good relationship. And I said, okay, what of the father? But even though I know that what she was saying was not true. And as I dig deeper, I told her, this is why I asked you, what's the relationship with him? What's the relationship with his father? Because if he's not excited to come home, something is fundamentally wrong. How can school be on vacation and a child tells me, oh, I'm not coming back, even if it is 1 million, except you're out of the country. You can't be within the country with me and decide not to come home during vacation for 2 months or 3 months. What are you doing there? Then something is also filling the vacuum where holiday bonding should be filling. But we look at these things and he said he'll be doing this, he said he'll be doing that. And then when I got into deeper conversation with her, she busted in tears and started telling me other stories, other bigger things that she feels the child is avoiding the father because of them. So emotional identity. There's no emotional connection in your home. Your children are running away from you. Okay? All of these are what you transfer intentionally. Legacy. Remember, we're talking about legacy. You transfer them intentionally. And it continues to shape the child, equip the child, not just the child, even the generations to come after, because they will transfer the same thing. And bless the next generation while they are there and while you are there and while you have gone. So one of the mistakes we usually make is to think that legacy is something that comes after. Legacy does not come after. Legacy is here. Legacy is while you're living now. It starts here. You will be seeing it with your korokoro eye. From age 18 self, your report card is already in your hand. Some of us that are close to raising a young adult, we're already looking at our report card and wondering, hey, where am I not? Where am I not? And God is saying, oh yeah, pick up what you need to be doing now. So I have an SS2 girl now. So in the next 1 year, 2 years, she's out of secondary school, she's going to university. Your results will be clear in your hand. You would want to now start telling a university girl, no, 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 no. Why you finish the no, no in your house? Maybe she will go back to the campus. Whose voice will she be hearing? Even the ones that are in secondary. Are we not seeing how all of them are jumping around TikTok? Are we not seeing it? Legacy. Transfer. What are you transferring? Until they finish talking about the digital. What are we transferring to them digitally? We are holding our phones every time, doing what we don't know, what they do not know. And we want them to now come to the internet and become very disciplined people, impactful people. It's not going to work. So one of the things I want us to understand in the deep roots conversation and the legacy transfer, the legacy conversation, is that we need competence. I shared a video yesterday where I was talking about competencies of parenting, where we need to acquire a lot of competencies. This is one of the things we do. The major thing we do in the Build Your Home Tribe is to build these competencies. It is not a system that you just do. Okay, I've done it today. I know what to do today. It is a lie. I started taking online courses of parenting 2011. I have no child there. I've done 3 years in marriage at the time. I did not have any child. At least biological. I had other spiritual children who were around me in church and everything, following me to go. But at least biologically, I had no child. 2011. I took a course on parenting at the time. It was Periscope that is being used live, the way we are using Facebook Live, YouTube Live today. Periscope, if you people know what Periscope, that's what's it called, that app called Periscope. Then, from Dr. Shefali. So I connected to everything that will help me and broaden my knowledge of some of the books I've read from my daddy's library and everything. So it was something that I was just doing, not necessarily whether I was conscious or not, but I knew that I had a picture of the kind of home I wanted to have. So while I see that, okay, I like the way daddy lived and everything, his home and everything, there were angles I also have picked up that, oh, no. I don't think daddy also knew this. He would have done better and all of that. So I'm taking an assessment round to say, no, I have to do this one better. And then I began. I had no biological child at the time. These competencies are learned. Knowledge gives light. These competencies are learned. So if we were so delighted that, oh, parenting is, you give it to a child, don't you know what to do with a child? That's a lie. That's a lie. Don't you know what to do with? Must you go, what's it called? Must you go to the university to study and all of that? You have already gone to secondary school. You can write your name. What did you go to study for? Because you want to acquire, a certification that gives you competence in that discipline. So while we do all of these things, including animal husbandry, this and that, that is basically for animals. Why you do all of these things? What tells you that you cannot do it or should even do better, 1,000,000 times better for human beings? And so the competencies we're talking about today is for us to know that we must treat parenting with utmost urgency. It is acquired. The knowledge of competencies is acquired. You acquired your MBA, your PhD. I have parents in the tribe who are PhD holders, who are PhD students, studying, being in the tribe, putting in their efforts, reading, learning. They would have said, oh, no, I have a PhD. I'm a student of PhD. No, I don't need to learn parenting. PhD. Then you come back, you didn't try. Legacy. So if you're getting your MBA, your BSc, your PhD, your certifications, education in family life system, while you're getting all of that, who told you that you are not supposed to get competence with being a parent? Who told you? So one of the greatest need of our time is parenting education. One major mistake we made is believing that, oh no, giving birth. After giving birth, remember that there's something called raising the child, training the child. That's what Auntie Nene was talking about. When you're supposed to train, you are not training. Oh, you're busy. Oh, my business. Oh, my school. Oh, my this. You need not train. And scripture said, train up. Train up. And you're not training up. And you think things will just fall in place because, oh, you were, is a lie. It's not going to happen. So, we are going to be looking at building legacy through proactive parenting. Because that topic says deep root, great heights, proactive parenting for legacy and global impact. So, how do we build this legacy through proactive parenting? We have already established the roots, the legacy, and all of that. For you to build this proactive parenting, this legacy through proactive parenting, if you know what proactive means working ahead of situations, because those situations are coming. No Jupiter will stop it. The phases of parenting are different, not the way it happened in the toddler ages. 5-year-old, you're already you're having a child who is asking, but mommy, why? Why? And you're wondering, mostly everything you ask why, this and that and that, and you're fighting with them. And they will come up to preteen. They will come up to teenagers. Some of us that have teenagers already. Oh, they will come up to that level. No, mommy, no, it's not done. And they will question everything. And you will need to give answers. You dare not, in this age of the children of why, to say, no, I'm your mother. You cannot ask me that. You dare not. And if you dare it, you have lost that child. So what are the things that we need to help you, acquire the legacy and the routine through proactive parenting? Because you need things that will help you acquire that. Expanding your vision beyond the immediate, what you're seeing now. Immediate limitations. That immediate limitations is basically talking about, proactive parenting ahead of situations. Then the deep internal stability, which is the roots. You need to get into being deep such that you become stable, and then the capabilities you need to get the great heights. For you to achieve these great heights, there are principles that will help you get that. Remember that I talked about principles, and I told you that everything that works on principles. Everything that you see thrive, not just that it's working. If it is thriving, we are a generation that were raised with a survival template. Go to school. What is the vision? What do I need? No, don't worry. Any course you no this and that. Go and do business. Oh, go and do this. There was no vision around it. The only thing our parents knew was survival. Just manage it. Just start the work. Start the sweeping work that they gave you. Just start that ambassadorial work. Just start. There was no vision around it. So nobody showed us that there's a vision around everything about our life. Nobody. And so with that, we just keep going. And when we get to a point where we get stuck, we feel like, oh, no. Principles. You cannot boycott principles and things will work. No lie. It doesn't. It can only look like it worked. But deep down, nothing worked actually. Nothing worked. And if you go to that person, he will tell you that he regrets doing this, he regrets doing that. So quickly, let's run into the principles of deep roots, great heights. Number one principle of deep roots is the root of identity. I have a few things about identity, but let me expand it here. Before a child can face the complex world, this our fast changing world, they need an unshakable, how do I put it, sense of self. They need to know who they are. They need to believe in who they are. And knowing who they are does not just come by, the few things we have shared about your identity of name, where you begin from when they are 2 years and 1 year and all of that, when they start talking and all that. They need to know who they are. If you're a Christian, they need to know who they are in Christ. If you're a Muslim, they need to know who they are in Islam faith, another faith you believe in. Wherever you belong to, they need to know their roots culturally. They need to know their grandfather, who is their grandfather, who is their grandmother. The other time I took my children to art gallery, Nike Art Gallery, precisely, in Abuja. And they saw a lot of things. The man that Fela Kuti, all of the things in the art gallery, mother of Fela Kuti's mother and many other African women were there in an art way, ... design and all of that. And my youngest child just saw something Kuti. And he said, that's the woman that drove first in Nigeria. I said, Akachukwu, you're correct. Because we have talked about her, the siblings have called the name 1 million times. We have shared different things about our African heritage, shared about our grandparents. They know my father's name. And they call it David Ugo as if they know David face to face. I didn't meet David. But why do they know it so easily? Because I share story from David's time. Stories that daddy shared for us. I will share David's story, how daddy shared it, and share daddy who they met. So they have the routine. And then their father will tell story of his grandfather, beginning where they want to know this and that and that and that, and they will now know the history of the grandfather who they did not meet. Culturally, are they rooted? Or everybody is? You ask children as simple as what is your name? You, the mother, you come out. Her name is, his name is, what are you speaking for them for? At age 4, your child cannot say, my name is Ikenna. My name is Similolua. My name is Haruna. At 4, at 5. And we keep doing this thing till they get to SS3 where we are filling their jam form. We are filling their whatever. And taking them to places where they will do expo. Because they cannot communicate with real world. They are not grounded. They are not rooted. They are not rooted. So the principles of identity says you have to build deep roots with these 3 things. Number 1, core family value. What are your family values? The first thing we do in the tribe is to get everybody to understand your family value. If you call any of my child, they know the exact things to tell, because while they were small, 3, 4, 5, we were singing it as songs. I was forging all sorts of things to bring it to limelight what our values were. And they were saying it like anthem. They were, remixing it. We talk nicely to each other. We love each other. We give ourselves sense of belonging. We give ourselves and others who come to us sense of belonging. That's what they could understand at the time. But as they grow older, they now understand what it means to give sense of belonging. They now understand what it means to love each other. They now understand what it means. They do not need to remain at the preliminary like that when they were younger. So they have to know their core values. How many families can their children come out and stand and say, in our family, our core values are X, Y, Z? Number 2 thing that you need to have in the deep-rooted identity your children need to have is the emotional energy in your home. For them to be rooted, there must be a strong emotional energy. If your children is always meeting chaos, always meeting a shouting daddy, always meeting a daddy who is quarreling 1 million times, daddy comes in, everybody goes, flies away, the Lion of the tribe of Judah is back and all of that, they won't be rooted. They will never be rooted. They will have low self-esteem. They will never be confident of themselves. They will always avoid things, never taking responsibility. All of these things are going to happen because the energy in the home is fierce. And the number 3 thing to get deep root is sense of purpose. When a child's identity is secure with the family ecosystem, almost everything is possible. Almost everything, except the one that is purely on God. Purely on God, maybe like health issues or our life, but you see every other thing that we can do as humans is possible. Because every other thing that can challenge them is external. Once they are grounded, having correct sense of purpose, they understand their purpose, they understand who they are. They are having conversations with their parents about their purpose, because purpose changes. Purpose is not one thing. Oh, I was born to become. They keep going as they grow older. All of this. Let's run fast. Number 2, the principle of generational vision. What are you seeing about your family? This is another second thing we do in the tribe. Habakkuk 2:2 and 3. Write the vision. Make it plain. So that whoever that picks it runs with it. Transfer of legacy. Transfer of value. That's legacy. Transfer of value. Transfer of character. Transfer of identity. So, generational vision is not just you and your child today. It is about your generation. What do you want your name to be attached to tomorrow? 100 years from now, all of us have gone. What do you want people to... Oh, my goodness. Okay, he's the grandchild of Vivian. And something is very peculiar about Vivian's children and grandchildren and her generation. Oh, he's the great-grandchild of Temiloluwa. And something is peculiar about them. What is that thing that you're seeing now that you want to see 100 years after? Write the vision. Make it plain. Your great-grandchildren are not here now, but they will run with it. They will run with it because you set a standard. They will run with it because you set the templates. They will run with it because they met a system. So they are dwelling inside a system. So we have talked about the vision in the place of legacy. So again, legacy is intentional transfer of wisdom, character, stewardship, principles. You're transferring principles to your children, teaching them how things work, telling them that nobody's owing them. Oh, if you don't get up and do X, Y, Z, take responsibility, you will be stuck in life. And they're understanding, oh, this is a principle. If I don't read, I will fail. If I don't read, I'm going to join Expo people. And they are understanding the principles of life. So you move beyond the immediate generational vision. You move beyond the immediate inconveniences. All of us are inconvenienced in one way or the other. I know the season when I can't breathe because all of them are small. I need to carry them along wherever I'm going to. I need to show them this. I need to show them that. It was a season. It has finished now. I move on my own. I go away when I want. I come in when I want. Even though we have structure, we have timetable, we have routine, but it is already known now to everybody. It cannot be the same with you who have a toddler. You need to understand seasons and understand the inconveniences that comes with all the seasons, and be available every night when our children were young, every night, even till tomorrow. But most importantly, when they were younger, we had bonding time where we will share all sorts of things. That is, seated mommy is seated, everyone is seated. And it's after that bonding time, night prayer, and then everybody goes to bed. Vision. There's something you want them to learn. There's something you want them to know. So what is this that you're seeing with your multi-generational lenses now? Healthy communication. How do they learn it? Auntie Nene just said it. We must talk. We must have communication. We must have conversations. How will they learn how to communicate? How will they relate with the world around them? Your 10-year-old comes out and is waiting for mommy to tell. We get into a store, I tell the children, go and buy. And they'll be negotiating prices. They'll be asking questions. Why are you not selling? Why this? Why that? Why that? Because you won't be there every day. They have to interact with their world. Breaking unproductive generational cycles. How do you do that? Vision. There are things you saw growing up. Oh, you didn't like it. There are things you saw growing up. Oh, the picture was terrible. It was horrible. It was horrifying. You are the one who will say, no, I'm breaking this unproductive pattern. Never. And then you're doing all of these things to basically, do all of the things you need to do to become a torch bearer in the family. Okay, they are warning me for my time, so I need to hasten up. Number 3. What is the principle number 3 for deep roots? The principle number 3 is the principle of great heights. Being world ready. What are you teaching your children? Being world ready. Because reaching a certain height requires equipping your children with modern, adaptable life skills. Again, these are the things we do in the tribe. Life skills. How do your children think? How do we want to teach them independent thinking? Every conversation that we're having in the tribe is bringing out a skill or the other to empower the children and to empower you. Independent thinking, digital illiteracy, digital intelligence. This is a book I bought because I needed to really know more. It says, Parenting in Digital Age. I've been reading this book in the past 5 years. Since 2021, when this book was written, I read it every year. Because as much as I tell my children, oh, you will not have a phone, personal phone, everybody uses the laptop to do X, Y, Z, and all of that. Very soon, the time of phone will be here. For my daughter now, she's very close. Secondary school is rounding up very soon. So you see, those your babies that you're looking at today, very, very soon now, the time the toddler age is gone, and you are bound to do what you need to do with them, and all of the things you think is far, is not far. I keep reading digital parenting because I want to be digitally intelligent myself. You cannot give what you don't have. They are the tech people. They will come to the tech space and begin to operate in any nonsense they see. But because you didn't show them what they should operate according to your vision, according to your values, they can operate anywhere. Are you not seeing the rate of children dancing in TikTok? Are you not seeing it? If their core values is at the helm of impact, is at the helm of greater heights, they will not be thinking of dancing on TikTok. Everything every girl child comes to do in TikTok is to dance, 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 dance. And so we need to understand financial literacy. How do they read it? My son just finished reading. One of my sons read how to make money, something like that, about finance. A guy that wrote it was 16 when he wrote that book. And I told him, how old are you? What are you picking from the lessons? What are you doing? One of them came to drop this one for me. A young man after a God's own heart. He read it last week. It's part of his holiday book. And he's reviewing it for me this evening. And he told me, let him review. I said, no, until after my sessions. He said he's going for football. I said, just go for your football. When you return, you do your review. And these are how to equip them and empower them for the world around them. So how do you want them to learn spiritual intelligence, problem-solving skills? That's why we advocate for you being in the tribe. These are where we take the practicals. No one conference will give you everything. No one summit, no one teaching will give you everything. Even when they give you, there's no system to hold you accountable. There's no structure to set. So rather than shielding them from the children from the global realities, guide them into critical, constructive, world. Because you don't want to raise consumers. You want to raise impact makers. You want to raise contributors. People who came and made a mark in the sand of time. You want to raise such people. Principle number 4, let's run. The principle of global empathy. That's what I call it. Everything I put down as a principle is what I have lived and living till tomorrow. The principle of global impact. Global impact and service. Many of us don't understand this. Global impact begins because when we hear global impact, we think until your child gets to Canada and gets to America and become Donald Trump, that's when he has made impact. It is not true. Global impact begins from your child's world view. What are your children seeing? What is the world around them? What are they seeing? That extends beyond themselves. So if we don't teach our children cultural awareness, we don't give them, teach them or give them the mindset of being contributors from when they are small. The tribe parents know that one of the things we share every day is how the children will contribute to the family growth. It is not one person's job. I tell our children, daddy has to contribute, mommy has to contribute, you have to contribute. So there must be something you're doing to make the family grow. That's why there's someone that will wash plates, someone will sweep, someone will mop, someone will clean the kitchen, everyone has a job to do. Today is Saturday. They have washed clothes while they were washing clothes in the morning. Early in the morning, they used the light to wash because they are going to football by 7 a.m. And they had to do all of that because they cannot come back at 11:30 and begin to wash. And they will rest and continue the evening, the evening session, because on Saturdays is morning and evening. So all of those things are because they have understood. But did they understand it 5 years ago? No. Did we put in the work to make them to keep learning, keep understanding, keep learning, keep understanding? Yes. So you get to make your children to learn what their talent is about, what leadership is about, the resources and the tools that you design that will help them to understand that they are problem solvers. They should not be consumers. They should be thinking of problem. Which problem am I supposed to solve with this thing? You don't wake up and begin to become a problem solver. Or you when you get to the university, you now say, that's when I'll start solving a problem. If your child is not able to wash plate now, he can't solve problem. If your 5-year-old is not conscious of, I need to wash the plates, I need to clean the table, I need to do this. If your 7-year-old does not have any chores he's doing, if your 10-year-old, if your 15 years old have not any chores he's doing daily that awakens him, I've not done this, they cannot solve problem. Number 5, and not the least, the principle of intentional modeling. Hey, this is where the work finish. Legacy and impact cannot be taught with mouth. Solely with mouth is a lie. You cannot teach just with instruction. So, legacy, the principle of intentional modeling is talking about, they have to catch some things through observation. What are your children observing? What are they observing? Okay, my time is going up and I need to bring in my moderator to be here so she can be seeing what I'm doing while we round up. So you cannot teach the principles of modeling with I told them. That's why our children cannot connect with us many times. I told them does not work. You tell and do a different thing, they will do a different thing. Don't worry about how they will take the twisted message. They will. So deep root grows in children when they see the authenticity, continuous learning in you. You can't be telling them, go and learn, go and read, go and read, go and... How many times have they seen you reading? Go and pray. How many times have you been praying? A parent reached out to me that he told the children, let's go and pray. And the children will not tell, the 14-year-old will tell him, Mommy, leave us alone. It's not a must that everybody will pray together. How did he hear it? I asked. He said, because the father is always saying, I did not see my father praying with my mother. Did we come into agreement that we must pray together? When we married, did we do agreement that we must pray together? I say, yes, now that's what your children are, they heard. And I picked it. And tomorrow they will tell their wives, my father and my mother are not praying. So go and pray your own. And you want to be a united front. So there are things that are caught. You don't need to preach. You don't need to talk. You don't need to teach them. They catch it. It's Rama. There are things that they catch. Integrity, discipline, your life daily, intentional modeling. And lastly, the principle of constant assessment of your background. This is where everything finished. Where everything finished. Many of the things you're doing today or you're living today were the things you saw with your eyes growing up. You didn't even understand it then, but today you're living it. That's why we're fighting with our husbands. The exact things you see them do today are the things they picked from their fathers. Father said, don't tell women everything. My father said, don't tell me woman. Who if a woman knows everything, she will do this, she will do that, and all of that. So you see, many of us came from broken homes. Coach Alex said it on the third day or so, that every parent came from a broken home. It is true. It is true. All of us are coming from brokenness to breakthrough. The only difference is the level. Parents in the tribe know that at the end of the year, we take a trauma test. Some of us are below 3, some are 4, some are 5, some are 7, some are 8. It is the level that matters now. So some of us are coming from diverse families. Some of us are coming from, polygamy. Some of us are coming from, parents who dealt with cheating. The mother was constantly complaining, your father did this, your father did that. The cheating that they suffered and all of that. Some of us are coming from fighting, a lot of fights, bickering, constant quarreling. The house is always in tension. I have a young boy who came to me. He was either 18 or 19 at the time. And when he left home, I kept asking, where did you leave home? Only in Abuja. How do you... No, he doesn't want to stay in their house. His father and his mother are always quarreling. He just finished SS3 at the time. He was looking for admission in a polytechnic and all that. And he landed himself in Abuja to start going around and all that. So a lot of things happened then. I had to bring him back to order. Him who was saying that his father and his mother was always quarreling have always also internalized all the trauma that he took. Because he was even molested at 6. His parents didn't know. I was the first person he shared it with. Maybe he has shared it with another person now. He's listening to me here. So some of us came out from emotional torture, emotional, what's it called now? Neglect. Mothers who had emotional neglect, fathers who had emotional neglect, especially mothers, because it's more of mothers. Some of us came out from homes that are no love, lack of love, quarrel, so much quarrel, so much intent. These are my definitions of broken homes. So don't think that until you come from where your father is living differently and your mother is living. Brokenness is in dimensions. So the unfortunate thing now is that all of us who saw all those things are already living it. We are picking it and running with it without even knowing. Even though you fought it while you were young, you're repeating the same pattern. So the principle of constant assessment is saying, look back. Look back from where you're coming from. Assess where you're coming from. Assess where you are today. And assess where you're going to. Vision. Assess it all the time. If you don't assess how you were raised, who raised you, Coach Abibo said something like that, how you were raised, who raised you, parent or uncle or auntie or grandmother or anybody that raised you. If you don't assess it, how you were raised, the environment that raised you. Alex shared a story of how his own mother gave birth to him and dropped him because he was quarreling with the father. That's why I spoke about fathers from the beginning. Fathers must have to be careful. They must arise in this generation if we must see better sons. Otherwise, all the things we're struggling today, our daughters are going back to it. Because we finish raising that beautiful daughter, he will go back to a broken man. And the struggle continues. Negative pattern. It was his grandmother that raised him. These patterns can only be broken by knowledge. Nothing else breaks pattern. Only knowledge breaks pattern. And I call it not just knowledge, but a higher knowledge. Because parenting is a higher calling to consciousness, to competence. And that's why you need the skills of competencies, lots of competencies, because we are raising children in the world that have lots of competencies to be able to match the impact that they have to make globally, because they're already global citizens right in your room. In conclusion, my moderator is here and showing me that I'm 5 minutes already gone. In conclusion, I want to tell us that there's a framework to make all these principles come to life. But that framework cannot be shared in a conference. That framework cannot be shared in a summit. That framework cannot be shared in one masterclass. That framework is a system. That framework is a structure. If you are not in the tribe listening to me, you're already getting it wrong. I'm telling you, you're already getting it wrong. If your family members are not in the tribe, if you're not making efforts for them to join you, for your colleagues to join you, to begin to learn, for your family members, for your in-laws and all of that, you're already making it. Because your child is not going to live in the world alone. And your child is not going to live in that cultural setting alone. Your child will have other people, cousins, friends, and all of that to live with. So part of the things we do in the tribe is to really create this framework that blows up our knowledge bank, and we begin to work a system, because you have to create a system for your home, because it's a dynamics that is different for all of us. It's not the way it pertains to me that it pertains to you. It's not the way I have plenty children that you have plenty. Some of you are Oyibo people. You have 2 children, 1 child. Some of us are original African mothers. We even want to have 8. If not that Africa have done to us what it has done to us. Okay? So, we need to understand that there's nothing like give me a template. You are the one to create the template. You are the one to come into the system, create the template according to the dynamics of your family, the temperaments of your children, the personality of your children, your own personality, your husband's personality, that creates a holistic system for your family. This is where we'll draw the curtain in this conference. So let me allow my moderator to say what she wants to say before we finally give the final blessings, because like I said, no one conference can give you everything that you need to know. That's why we wanted to share the principles alone in the conference. Thank you so much, everybody.
Wow, I'm clapping already. Even before I unmuted myself, I was already clapping. You blew me away again. And God. I'm very, very sure that other people in this conference feel the same way. You know, Coach Abibo said something the other day that God spoke directly to him that he should go tell parents, claim it if you are the one, go back and have a retreat with yourself. Tell yourself that thing that you ask yourself, what is that thing that I have to do to become a better version of myself, for myself and for my family and for people around me. I initially did not want to say much at the start of this. I just wanted to usher you in. But now I just want to say a few things. You see this deep root great height. I was asking Coach the other day, how do you come up with these things and these sessions? Like I'm always amazed. And I like how we in the tribes are just there in the tribe discussing about how the sessions are going. I'm missing today's zone because I don't want to be here and be there because I'm moderating. But you see one thing about deep roots, unshakable foundation. I don't want to go to the engineering parts of it to bring it home. Building collapsing because even a child will know that something is wrong underground for the building to collapse. But you see, when they use tree as example, I grew up in the village where we had trees, numerous economic trees. One thing my dad will let you understand that if a tree does not have a strong root, there are trees that don't have tap roots. They are easy to fall. Even trees that have tap roots, once they are weak, if a strong wind comes, the branches will start going. And one day after a big storm, you wake up and see that the tree uprooted itself and fell off. So a tree that has solid tap roots will have strong branches, bear good fruits, the leaves will be greenish, the chlorophyll will be there to help it make fruits. And what are these fruits and these branches you are talking about? You see the confidence, the skills, the values, the characters we see in our children. If there is no unshakable foundation, you are not going to see it in your children. And you will cry in the nearest future. I don't, this little time is not going to permit me to share everything. When I first met Coach, 2020 or 2021, I saw her, a friend of mine, my secondary school mate, shared the link to a challenge she was doing. I was struggling with one child. With one child. Only my cheese around then was a chatterbox, was everywhere. Was at a point I said this girl has ADHD. There's a disorder with it. I was beating this girl mercilessly. At a point I used to kick her. No. I said no, something is wrong somewhere. I knew that because I told myself the way I was being yelled at, shouted at, I don't want to do it. Just 2 years into the marriage and I'm kicking my toddler. I said no. So when I saw it, I reached out to Coach Vivian and she told me, oh, I'm so sorry. You don't have a structure to help you and you need to build a structure that will help you. I said, which one is structure again? I said, how can I learn structure? She said, it's a journey. You are not going to learn structure today. It's not something you are going to learn now and start. It's not a fix. It's not there's something she called it. It's not a quick fix. Yes, it's not a quick fix something. She said, come into the tribe. Let me hold your hand and guide you and teach you. And ever since then, it has been a good history for me. And if you know me very well, whether offline, whether online, the only thing I talk about is parenting. A little of politics here and there, then health here and there, and then parenting. You cannot have a conversation with, because that's what I have, that's what I know now. But years back, did I know it for where I didn't know it? Then I started with a structure. She taught me how to do my family values, my family vision, my family mission. She made us in that group then to go and type it and submit it. If you go to my wardrobe, if you go to my children's wardrobe, the door, it's nothing, like you won't see space. It's filled with notes and notes and notes and notes and notes and notes and portraits of values in my sitting room. And that is what I see my child doing now. Anything, she will put it down and paste it. Any little thing, she will put it and paste it. If you are in this conference and you've demanded something from me about routine, or because of the kind of conversations I have with you, you will believe that when I snap picture, you will see the one you need and you will see the one you didn't ask me for, because all of them are there in that wardrobe. My daughter, who I thought was a chatterbox and was everywhere, very restless. Like I used to get complaints from her from school. I started going to school. I will go to school by myself, meet my children's teacher. It doesn't take me anything to carry phone and call and relax and do what I'm doing. They know me very well in their school. And the same restless child is the person winning most articulate. A chatterbox who I was already telling her, you talk too much, you give me headache, don't disturb me, this and that. One most articulate. That is this. A restless child is the same person that won most meticulous. Do you know what meticulous means? This is a child that if you go to her room, when I go to their room, I'll tell them, people should go and do my room too now, as you did your own. A restless child can never get things done if that child is not being nurtured. Do you know why? Her being restless is not even her fault. It's these things are embedded in their DNA why they were forming. And when you give birth to them, the temperament begins to show. They come with plain, they don't know anything. Then it's your job to, nurture. And and it's not a day something. Look at me. I've been there for 5 years or 6 years now. I'm still there. And I'm going to be there. Even when I will be consulting with my children, I will no more be teaching or coaching. There's something that Dr. Nene, the last speaker, said. To every parent, you have the grace to teach. And for every child, there will be hunger to learn. If you don't teach, that child will not be on. Let me tell you something. There was a year that Coach Vivian said, what are your plans for the skills your child will? I want to see the goal for your children for this year's, just for talent and skills. I said, how am I going to do this? He said, start exposing, even if you don't know, they will pick interest by themselves. And Chizam started with recorder as a music instrument, went ahead with piano. Last year we we hosted people for our Christmas carol. I didn't even know that was something that would be possible with me. We did it, and my children played the nine carol songs. They did it, and they talked, and my son too. If I want to start going to about my son and my daughter, will not even this session will not end. Who made this possible for me? Because I'm not worshiping you, Coach Vivian. No, it's just a testimony. It's just a testimony. And it's not about them playing piano. It's not about them knowing how to wash plates. It's not about them. I can't remember the last time I picked broom to sweep my house or even mop my. It's not about it. I'm more interested in other skills therein. In the morning, they think with their brain. Even my 4-year-old, who is a strong-willed child, knows that when she pours water, even if she doesn't want to do it, she knows that she's supposed to do it. And she goes ahead to do it. That is critical thinking skill, problem solving skill, other skills that they are picking from everywhere. The other day, someone shared something about, okay, that was my children conference. She was teaching her child how to wash a rug, and the child said, I have my own method I want to use and wash this rug. And the inner child of that mother wanted to say, you too do. And you know what? I remember the day coach sent a bonding tool and said, chopping technique, something like that. And I said, this Obina has not been cutting onions, so I'm only giving him pound. I said, cut these onions for me. This is how you would do it. This boy did the first one, came back to the second one and said, the way you taught me, it's not as if it's not good, but I have my own method. It will come out finer. I even took a picture. I think I didn't share it in the chat, but I did. So in the tribe, or ideally, you are meant to connect with your child in order to correct. That thing you term misbehavior. It's something that your child has not learned. So whose job is to teach? You as not just the mother. I'm a mother now. I'm not talking as if I'm the only one teaching. Bring your spouse. First speaker talked about the roles of men. If they remove provision, what is your spouse doing? If your spouse is not doing enough, that means you are like the two of you are confusing the children. They run this side. And Coach Ahuna yesterday said, when they notice there's a gap, they will manipulate the two of you. And that manipulation, they will grow with lack of integrity. In this person's corner, they will go and do good. In this person's corner, they will go. You think you are getting the points. Oh, they love me so much. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to. I have so many. So conference alone cannot do the job for you. You need guidance. You need coaching. You put your efforts. It's not enough to pay and go and listen and go away. Life will happen to you that your child will have a meltdown. And when you want to put in that thing you think you've learned, it did not work for one day. Nobody is teaching you to be patient with your child now. So once you do that, you do that thing you've learned during conference, I didn't work. You say, this parent himself is not even the way I think it is. I beg. Let me just hit this boy so that this boy will hear what. Kick back. You have hit that child. I've told coach that if I'm any day, any month that I'm on serious, or any week I'm on serious about entering Build Your Home Child to follow the daily bonding tools. I'll be doing as if I've not even learned anything about parenting. And my children they will go and have meeting and come to me. I'm telling you, they go to their daddy and said, I don't like how you are doing. Daddy, you are pressing phone too much. It's not even screen time. I have if you go to I have routine for holiday, I have routine for school. So everybody needs to come together and work. It's a work. Effort is needed. Knowledge is needed. Then effort is needed. Don't let that knowledge you have sit with you. If you don't have that knowledge, declutter your mind. Is in Coach's book. Coach is an author. Is there. Declutter your mind. Agree for knowledge. Coach Alex, the mind therapeutic coach that spoke, said something. Declutter your mind. People that are worse to work with are ignorant. There's something he called their type of ignorance. You don't know. You don't want to know. You don't believe you don't know. You don't believe, accept that you don't know. Declutter your mind and learn. Please, I don't want my children to go and mix with children of parents who are not doing anything. That's why I'm talking like this. Eh? Come, let's do this together. Few years back, if coach told me to come and do this moderating, my tummy will turn into water. She's telling me now she's a first class clinical. Come and talk in public now. But see me now, see how my mouth is sharp. Even people that know me that are here will be surprised. I'm sure they will be, because this is not me outside there. But look at the confidence. And that is the confidence I also see in my children.
Yes.
I will even be like,
you cannot give your children what you do not have.
Much. Yes, this girl wants to be in everything they're doing in school. I said, I will tell coach, say, your inner child is talking now. Leave this girl. We are complaining that you were shut down. This girl now is a shining star. You are complaining. Please join Build Your Home Tribe. This is not adverts. This is something that community needs. Your family is the first unit of the society. Let's bring families who are doing something together. Let's form a community where our children, nobody's going to judge you because nobody is going to judge you because you are not perfect. Nobody is coming to be perfect about this journey. Our children will thrive. I told my friend's son sister who is here now, I can't wait for us to go on vacation and enjoy, looking back that we put in the work and our children are thriving. And when they even have questions about life, we are there to go personally come back. I pray that all of us do this and do it for ourselves and for our children. And God in his infinite mercy will bless you, Coach Vivian, and bless each and every one of us. I'm deeply honored and I thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry for the time.
Thank you so much, Oyenye. I'm just excited because Oyenye's level of feeling shy is not irregular, but like I will usually say, Build Your Home Tribe is not, God gave me that vision not basically because of our children, but basically because of us. We needed to be refined to be able to see, for our children to be able to see what it looks like. That look like, I said, you don't intentionally, the principle of intentional modeling. You don't teach everything with, no, go and do this. No, do this. No. There are things that your children must catch through observation only. They must, if you don't catch it, like Rema, forget it. They can't connect. No matter how you say it, there are many things they cannot connect until you become the blueprint yourself. Once you be the signpost, you don't need to say so much for your children. Let me share a little story as we close. A few months ago, our son's school, our first son, I don't know, they had an event. I was not even in town, and they said, television stations and everyone came, Minister of Education and everybody, they were there. And they interviewed him and asked, how come you took first in first term and all of that? You've been tops in class and all of that. Some will come, it will change first term, second term, they will go to another position, all of that. And he said to them, I've built some things at home. And they asked him what kind of things. He said, time management, this and that. People were telling me, because I wasn't even in the group. At the time, I had an issue with my WhatsApp, everything deleted. So by the time I reconnected a new WhatsApp, I was out of all the groups. So he said, time management, he explained a lot of things that is helping him build himself around all of the conversations that we're having. And at some point, they asked him, so who have helped you build all of these things? He said, my parents. In your parents, these same people who kept pushing him, in your parents who have helped you put in so much work, intensify it and all that, my mom. Tell us about your mom. And our 11-year-old said, well, my mommy is better experienced than talked about. I was frozen because everybody said, they were looking at him like, is this boy a small boy or an old man? And, so everybody was astonished. I wasn't astonished. I was frozen that he was able to say it in a public space. I wasn't frozen because I didn't know that they could say such things. I was only frozen with, like, cameras are on your face and you're saying your mommy is better experienced than talked about. So don't even bother asking me about my mother. Just experience my mother, that's all. So Your children will see some things and begin to live it just by observation. You don't need to preach them anything or teach them. When you get to allow them to observe your growth, they will naturally begin to pick a lot of things about your journey. One of the things that is empowering me, despite having a large number of family and making me feel like I can do it, I can do it, you know, to study ahead, do my engineering certification program, leaving the children behind and the family entirely, and all of that, and traveling from afar, is basically because I saw my mother with children going to ABU Zaria and leaving us with our father. My daddy would drop us with her in her university hostel, Queen Amina hostel. I remember very well because we're children, and that's it. So I keep feeling, if my mother, who had 10 children, had NCE, TTC, BSc, masters, all her children while she was in school, why do I feel I cannot do it? Let me continue. So you see, you catch some things with observations. You don't teach everything. So it is important that we begin to understand. If I'm telling them, the tribers, oh, you need to build communication skill for your children to build, and they're not saying you building it, they can't. They can't relate. So see the amazing woman that is before us here, like she said, she won't be able to come out. But today she's here and she's doing amazing things in the future, because she has been able to see that she has a life to live that becomes the billboard that her child will see tomorrow. So thank you everybody who joined us in today's grand finale. God bless you. The best place to start your journey as we drop this curtain is to go to the channel and begin to take each conversation one after the other. Make notes, have conversation with your spouse, have conversation with your children, begin to work on yourself until you get into the tribe. I am expecting every parent who came to this conference to be part of the tribe program 2027. Reach out to me, you get the details, book your slot with 20,000 naira. You can break down all other ones and then complete your payments. By January 6th, we kick off for 2027, and that's where we'll be giving you the framework of all of the things that will happen. However, you can also join the courses that will be happening towards the end of the year, the Discover to Deploy Your Child, and all other courses that will be happening before the end of the year. And then you can take it off from there. This is where we draw the curtain, and I am signing out from the conference 2026. See you again by the mercy of God 2027 conference. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.